This review has been very long in the making, and the first thing I need to do is apologize to Reed ChillCheater. They sent me their Transpire base fleece layers for me to test out. The main reason it took me so long to review the gear is that every time I was about to, either another trip came up where conditions were going to be more extreme, or they were in the wash, or they were being used. Every time I've been either in cold weather or cold water, they have been on, and they've been fantastic. And I also really like doing reviews when I've used some gear for quite a while, so I can really talk about the pros and cons rather than just first impressions. The fit was good from the get-go. It fit well, it kept me warm. It was easy for me to use under a dry suit, or just also use them for camping, or use them anytime I was going to be out in cold conditions. So I took them to the West Coast where the water was going to be chilly. I took them up north to Canada. I took them up to Blue Hill. I took them to Norway. And when we did the circumnavigation in Norway, these were one of the main layers I was using. I had thinner NRS layers, and then these were the thick option that I had on hand at any point. And so a lot of times I'd mix and match, but anytime I thought either the water was going to be really cold or the sun was not going to be out and there was a chance of it being just, you know, damp, cold, I'd put these layers on and I was always toasty. When I went out to Montana to get the VW van, the conditions were cold, so I had these layers with me and I had them pretty much most of the time on. Same thing whenever I went camping or winter camping, these were always my go-to. And anytime I wore them for several days in a row and they started to eventually get smelly, they easily wash and good to go again. But the best story I have to share of why I've been using these layers so much, even on times that maybe be a little too warm to wear these, is, for example, there was one evening that we were camping. So I was about to cook my meal and the water was still cool, but my pot of water slipped a little bit and most of the water went down my leg. And I thought, oh, tonight's gonna go down into, I believe it was under 30s or low 30s. And I just thought I'm gonna have to spend the rest of the evening with a damp leg and it's gonna be cold. And so I had brought with me one of those very thin towels that dry quickly. So I took the towel and started putting it on my leg and trying to get some of that water out. And all of a sudden, within a minute or two, my leg was completely dry. All the water had transferred from the base layers to the towel. None of it stayed in my pants. My pants were completely dry and I started getting really warm quickly. What I started really noticing is whenever I was on the water and I would start sweating, these layers were really sucking all of that moisture and then passing it along to whatever layers were on top. And if you're wearing a dry suit, that allows for the water to also evaporate. So they will keep you warm and dry. And if they do get wet, it's very easy to get them dry. So from then on, they have been my go-to anytime it's cold, because I know that even if I get wet, it's very easy to then get dry and stay warm. One thing I should mention that I've heard from friends over time is that if you are going to order stuff like this, you should have to be careful on the website to make sure it will fit your sizing. For me, I'm skinny and tall, and the set that came from Reed fit me perfectly. I have had friends that simply had to they just had to double check on the measurements to make sure that they would fit their body. So I have nothing but great stuff to say about the Reed Transpire Fleece base layers. Fantastic, thick, warm, and they're keeping up great. They're definitely durable. So Reed, thank you so much for letting me test these. So I hope that was helpful. If there's any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Leave a comment below. Subscribe if you like. I'm always trying to put these videos out. And as always, Luke over at Kayak Hipster. Thank you for watching. See you next time.